believe that kicks us off there. All right, cool. That is live. Dude, YouTube's been popping off. Thanks for your help with that last week, Kevin. Actually, that was cool. We should talk about that more, but those Mythbusters that had clips of everybody that I work with bringing up a union myth were the direction we should consider going with this, to bring more people in and get them involved and kind of get them out there thinking and talking about this stuff. You happen to catch any of those, Gina? I know you're a big fan of the YouTube channel. Just joking. What's up, Wes? Oh, dude, Sue got embarrassed that we called her out and left. That's cool. That's cool that she checked in. We'll give it a couple more minutes for, yeah, rip Sue for sure. We'll give it a couple more minutes. Get Jenica in here. I did try to ping Jake. Jake is MIA. And we will kick this thing off with what's up? What's up? Did you work today, Jenica? How was it? Cool. Always. Dude, there is a window. I want to get back up. What is it? It is the chat. It is the chat. What did I do and how did I make that appear on? Oh, use the docs menu on the menu bar. Docs. Oh, yes, dude. Here we come. And chat. Good night, my love. Where is it? that was for Kev. Let me. I don't know why I can't see the chat, the YouTube chat. I'll figure that out. Boom, boom. Feels like a bad idea. I'm not gonna do that. All right, we'll kick it off. Hopefully. What are we even looking at? Oh, okay. There's chat. That's the only one I actually need. All right, we're back in action, boys. Sorry for that. Kick this thing off, dude. You guys ready? Welcome. It is November 19th. This is our bi-weekly At What Cost Discord meeting, the place, up Smiley, where you can come discuss your working conditions, your union conditions with your coworkers. This is our 28th bi-weekly meeting, just a heads up, 28. And we used to keep closer track of this, and I kind of stopped doing it. But let's circle back. We have done this meeting 28 times consecutively, every 2 weeks. We had a peak attendance of like 23 people, like fucking 15 meetings ago or so. Uh, 28 meetings is the equivalent of 7 years of UFCW meetings. Reminder that our union holds quarterly meetings, so 4 times a year we come together to do this thing as members, talk, discuss our working conditions. What's up, Beville? And sorry for using your avatar names. I only know some, but if you want to let me know who you are and where you're from, in case I forgot, like that's like, trust me, I know that we've met probably 100 times, but I'm starting to get a little smarter and put notes on the avatars so I can keep track and remember who everybody is. But what's up? Good to see you. 28 meetings, guys. 7 years worth of UFCW meetings. Now, there's a part of this where you can be even more active and more involved and make this an even more powerful thing. But the fact that we have done this many times and this consistently is a testament, especially to the core group that's in this room now and has been attending meetings very regularly. This is a testament to the type of foundation that we can build, and something that, like what Wes and I talk about, or Paul and I talk about fairly regularly, is the importance of this being here for members to find when they do decide to show up, right? So shout out to everybody that has taken initiative to be a part of something bigger than just their personal selves in their work worlds. This is unionism. This is what it looks like, and we're 28 meetings in. So shout out to all you guys. Um, just to go through our welcome and introduction real quick, and if you don't have the agenda and you would like the agenda, I'll put it in the chat for those who don't have it. And same thing for people who might be catching this on YouTube later. The agenda is now in the chat. That's a shared document. Everything we do here and at what cost is fully transparent. In fact, that shared document is in a shared folder that will give you access to every piece of material we've ever created as at what cost members, and you're more than welcome to look at it and see, the road that's led us here. But in our union, in UFCW Local 8, we have very few ways to interact with union leadership outside of rep visits and quarterly general membership meetings in Sacramento. At What Cost was created and exists as a place where you and your coworkers can gather, share grievances, and build power towards a true member-driven union. Your participation is essential for this to work. Being here now is an important first step, but showing up is just that. It's a first step. Adding your voice is vital. Speaking up and speaking out about working and living conditions shows your coworkers that they aren't alone in their feelings. Inviting them into At What Cost through any of our social media channels is an important second step. It's the closest thing to a union hall that you have. Trust me, I know. The time to get active is right now, and the power is literally sitting there for us to grab, for you and your coworkers to take, and to do with what you will. The only missing link is your participation. And so that is to say that there is a lot of personal responsibility and accountability associated with unionism. We talk about it as a group all the time. No one's coming to save you. Nobody currently in the Discord chat right now is a savior ready to lead you to the promised land. This does require all of us. It requires you and your coworkers. And the end of that rainbow is literally contracts that provide living wages, healthcare we can afford, and secure retirements that we can look forward to on the other side of our careers. All things that we currently do not have access to, despite the fact that we pay our dues to a union, right? So something's missing from the equation. We apparently have the thing that should be giving us those things, and it isn't. So, what we are learning and discovering in this journey that we're taking together is that you are actually the secret sauce, and you have been all along. I'll have to take some sips of water as we move through this. So my apologies. Uh, With that being said, part of trying to make your union as accessible to you as possible has been creating At What Cost in this platform. The Discord server is here. We've got 7 members live in the Discord server chat right now and 180 members in our Discord server overall. You can also find us at Instagram, where we've got 213 followers, up by 3. Facebook is up to 130. We're there as well. Come find us there, up by 2 members. We have an At What Cost YouTube channel where you're seeing this meeting live and see a lot of the class union content that we put out. Video is posted on the YouTube channel. 205 subscribers so far, up by 23 since our last meeting. And for context on the YouTube channel, we started that in March as a way to combat mis and disinformation being pushed out by our union leadership, with the idea of full transparency and accessibility as a way for people to see and decide for themselves. And from that, we've kind of expanded into more things like a show called Worker to Worker. For people who haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend you go. It's one of my favorite things to do because it's basically me getting to talk to another worker about a lot of this kind of stuff. And I've been very lucky to get to meet people from a lot of different unions, a lot of different states that work for a lot of different companies in a lot of different industries. I think we've done 16 episodes of Worker to Worker so far. They're all available on the YouTube channel. You can access them as a podcast if you like. And those conversations go a really long way towards shining a light on what I think you and your coworkers are probably feeling, and you're not alone. Shocking reality of the situation is that this type of top-down business unionism it's not the exception, it's the norm, right? And so your feeling of no space in your union or being something outside of your union is valid and accurate. And this platform that we've built is one step towards solving that. So if you would like to get on any of our social media channels, please do. If you would like to start a social media channel for At What Cost and on a platform that you use, please do. Friendly reminder that this is not an organization or a structure that anybody owns. This is organic and as spread out as it wants to be. So there's nobody in control of any of this. All those social media pages that I listed are ran by different members in this group who decided to take initiative and make those things. And the ball is in your hands to do the same thing if you so choose. To that point, heads up, Jenica, I sent you the information that you have been so kindly requesting for the TikTok page. So hopefully you'll be able to spin that baby up like you've been wanting to for the last couple months. And sorry for the delay. One of the bad D words. Heads up, we also have a pretty awesome link that I'm going to throw up in the chat here. This link is one that you can share with all your coworkers. Save it in your phone, copy it, put it in a bookmark on your browser so that it's easy to find. The cool thing about this link is that it takes you to a master page for At What Cost that will give you a way to get to every social media platform that we have. So, one of the things that you'll learn very quickly in talking to your coworkers is that not everybody uses Facebook, or not everybody uses Instagram, and that's real. So when you go, hey, come join our Discord server, you're rolling the dice that people aren't in Discord. So this master link gives people a way to get into the group, in the movement, in a way that they're comfortable with on a platform that they use. One thing that I will point out is that it also now has a donation link. So if you would like to donate to the At What Cost campaign, you can now do so from the master link page. You can also sign up for our campaign updates. That's right, you heard it. We've said it, and we'll say more about it as time goes on. But At What Cost is running a slate against local union leadership. We're actively recruiting slate members. If you're interested in joining, say something. I would love to talk to you more about it, and we'll keep building from there. But just know that on the master link page, you can get to all our social media, but you can also make a donation, and you can also get signed up for our campaign. So a couple new things that have been added to that since the last time we talked. And like I said, it's yours to use and share and do with what you will. If you do end up creating a social media, another social media page for At What Cost, just let me know, and I will get it added to this same list so that people can find you easily. All right, rolling on to the next piece in the agenda. What's going on in your world? This is actually going to be the kickoff to every meeting that we have going forward. And this is basically, we kind of, this is open mic, like end of the call open mic, with the exception of the fact that we are live right now and being recorded. So just a heads up, if you want to talk shit or say anything critical, um, just be comfortable with the fact that people are hearing it. To that point, union leadership is very actively aware of these meetings and stays on top of them very diligently. It is also the only way for them to interact in their union too. So for any staff members that wish they had a better union, they're watching and engaging. And hello to the staff members who have reached out and showed support. I see you and appreciate you, and will speak directly to you at our December 11th meeting in Sacramento. So what's going on out there? What's up? What do you guys got going on in your workplace? Anything going on with staffing, scheduling, wage step issues, contract violations, grievances, safety concerns? Anything you've got going on your shop floor or in your workplace that you would like to throw out or bring up to the group? Kevin, I know that you have been specifically helping out some union members in our store in your capacity as a shop steward. You had a grievance recently for a dress code violation. Is that accurate, or do you have any updates on how that's going? You said shop steward training on Friday, bro. But that's fascinating. Gina, are you going to be at that shop steward training? That's that's what's up. I really I really appreciate you bringing that up. And you have been very diligent on the Facebook page in helping remind your coworkers about this very important deadline. Um, and for everybody out there that's listening, get your open enrollment completed. Complete your wellness steps. Very very easy. Second step that actually reduces your premiums for you and your family by, I believe, $25 a week. So you're talking about $100 in savings per month just by completing your wellness steps. Uh, Overall process took me about 15 minutes to get through. So do it. It's Yeah, for single members with no dependents, there's no additional cost, I don't believe. And even, for me, my cost for me as a married with a spouse and three dependents, it's $75 a week. And as a manager, my insurance was $120 a week. My out of pocket maximum was $4,000 more. And every year we maxed out on medical expenses of $12,000 because I've got a child with medical condition that requires visits. And so stepping down from management into my union insurance was actually insanely eye-opening. I shit a lot on UFCW Local 8, but I always give credit to our health insurance. Is it perfect? No. Is it better than not having insurance? Yes. Is the true end game of all of this to have universal health care for everybody? Absolutely. Our health, medication, access to care should not be tied to our jobs, and our company and our union bosses should not have that as a point of leverage over us. Um, but as we work towards that, anything to help reduce costs and increase access is will always get four thumbs up from me. Um, and to Gina's point, take advantage of every union benefit you have, especially in an environment where you don't have many. Your health insurance is one of the easiest and best you can get access to in our current union environment. Kevin, there was a question for you in the chat. Do you happen to know if the steward training is a group training or if you're getting like a one-on-one training? Cool. Is he coming to the store? Oh, you're gonna go meet him at the office on a Friday, bro? Okay, you're gonna be in that room with him by yourself, okay? Don't get fucking co-opted. If you need to wear a mic or something, let me know. We'll get you mic'd up. You can't be coming out of there a turncoat, bro. Bad things happen in that office behind closed doors, okay? We lose members. We lose members when they go into the office by themselves. uh, I do want to share an email that I sent on October 15th to the UFCW. Um, let's normalize wearing a wire, Paul says in the chat. I agree 1,000%. Uh, so I sent an email to the UFCW main office on October 15th, subject shop steward training. It says, hello, none of the shop stewards have been trained in the Anderson Reading area. My shop steward has asked to be trained more than 4 times. Before my stewardship was taken, I was requesting to be trained as well. Considering that training our stewards is not a priority of Local 8, can I please get an explanation as to why that is good for the membership? I'm just trying to understand the reasoning behind some of the decisions being made by leadership so I can explain them to my coworkers and my shop steward. The reply to that email was a fucking black hole. I did not hear a reply, get a reply, or get any acknowledgement that it was received. And we are still waiting. I'm looking forward to hearing what your experience is like, Kevin. I sent it to the main UFCW office. It's info@ufcw8.org, which I have been told will get to the eyes and ears of those who matter when you send it there. I have a feeling I've been marked as spam, but it's it is what it is. The email was sent, and if it, this is the first that we're hearing of a response, it's over a month later, uh, and I send this email. When I send this email, it's because I want a stronger shop steward, and that's no shade on you, Kevin. You are using the tools that you've been given, right? Um, I hold I hold this responsibility. Our union leadership should take more ownership and responsibility over building a strong stewards network. And one of the things that we've committed to on the at what cost slate is doing just that. Um, Cover that in just a second as we move through the agenda. But super badass to hear that we might be getting some movement on that, Kevin. And I do look forward to. Yeah, I will forward to that to you right now, Jenica, and we can begin the email chain to our union. And that's another thing too, is that, and shout out to you, Jenica, because what you're doing right now is you're joining in the direct action that I took to amplify the power that it has, right? When I send an email like that, it's grouchy old man fucking Eric standing on top of the hill with a tinfoil hat on, screaming about the fact that there's a conspiracy happening in his union and demanding change from leadership who doesn't care. When all of us approach this situation with collective anger and outrage, it's a real problem, right? And they cannot ignore it. So I'm easy to ignore. We are impossible to ignore. Kevin, can I count on you for an update, maybe at next meeting, on how that training went for you and whether or not you feel like you got adequate information, or if that's even what it is? Cool. Cool. Okay. Oh, well, trust me, he's going to be in that room building the program with you. Like, he's going to be like, "Do you feel trained? Do you feel trained?" And whatever the least amount of work he has to do for you to say yes will be the new steward training program for us up here, would be my guess. Well, thank you for sharing that, Kevin. Thanks for the update on our open enrollment closing, Gina. Smiley in the chat says, "I'm so thankful that I have a union steward that gives us a heads up on deadlines. I would probably lose my insurance for deadline things without him. The union reps should have been in the store during our crunch season to school the newbies and the newest union members. It's frustrating that the only time I see union guys is when we shout and make waves. Nothing like my dad's bus union and my grandfather's steel union." And shout out to the union men and women of generations prior to us. Um, we have big shoes to fill. You and your coworkers have big shoes to fill when it comes to replicating that unionism. But that unionism that just got referenced by Smiley in the chat, thank you, is the class struggle unionism that we need to regain balance and forget balance, to shift the balance of power in our favor and move back to thriving in our lives, home ownership, access to healthcare, comfortable retirement. All that lies on the other side of the unionism that was referenced just now in that comment. So you're all doing the right things by being a part of the movement, but like I said, we're talking about first and second steps right now, right? So there's more to it, and the more that I'm talking about is organizing. It's getting us to more members, more people, more active, paying more attention more often, and adding their voices and having these conversations. One thing I do want to mention that's going on in our store is this wage theft thing continues. Myra gave me an update. Myra's been one of the people in the wage theft investigation club that has done an absolutely insane amount of legwork to get to the bottom of her own issue. Uh, she got some money. Let's see. Grievance settlement was received $1,400. Problem is, by her calculations, she's owed closer to $9,000. So she's reached back out about getting that corrected and fixed. Another crazy update that came from that, Carly in our store has been dealing with the same issue. She had an hours audit completed in August, and in August she was told that she'd worked 7,400 and some odd hours and needed X amount of hours to get to her next step. It is now November, and she has not received that step raise. She has also triggered the hours audit and is part of this parent wage grievance that's going on that we're going to ask for more information on December 11th. But she decided to call the HR office and have another hours audit completed to see if the hours that she had worked from the first audit were being accurately added to her total hours. And what she found out will blow your fucking mind. 7,400 hours worked in August. The result of her November audit is that she has worked 7,010 hours. 390 hours have disappeared. Disappeared from August to November. That is wage theft, and wage theft is actually the number one crime being committed against workers in the United States right now. Why our union leadership has not taken a more aggressive stance against this, why we're still fucking working while our coworkers are not being accurately paid for the jobs they're doing, is absolutely beyond me. Absolutely beyond me. This is a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Cut the fucking check. Pay your coworkers. Sorry for my swearing. I've been sick. Cut the check and pay your people. How are hours disappearing from August to November? And why, when a union member calls their union rep and says that the response is that I will add that to your file? This is burn the building down type shit. Okay? Does anybody have any thoughts on, how would it feel if 300 hours got stolen from you? %. So, yeah, when she asked for her, she asked for her hours audit to be completed in August. The total number of hours that she had worked for the company was 7,400. She had a audit completed in November, which the 7,400 should increase by the number of hours that she worked from August to November. Instead, it decreased by 390 hours. It went backwards. Oh, yes, yes, yes. So, like, what? Yes, what's yes, 100%. Yes. So the hours that she's worked are also not included in that. So yeah, very much to your point. The actual labor that she has performed within that window is also not recorded there. I will I will say a few things. One, I will say is that there are 0 times where we should accept anything less than what we're owed. Um, the other thing that I will say is that because we are so atomized as members, because we are so alienated from each other and our actual individuals, and our union rep prefers to engage with us as individuals, which we will see if Mike gets back to Gina, and if Gina is in. I mean, I'm guessing she's not invited to this Friday party because she probably works, but we'll see if Gina's invited to this Friday session. Um, Dealing with us as individuals eliminates our ability to gain collective power. You and your coworkers' power comes from collectively taking action together. That I have a very serious question, and I consider it misrepresentation by our union to not be addressing it in the way that you mentioned. Because it's not just a serious issue, it's probably illegal. And there's probably some coordination and collusion going on to keep it from becoming a major financial burden for Albertsons. Um, because I cannot logically come to a conclusion that I'm satisfied with as to the benefits of our union working with Safeway on this. To that point, some of the people impacted are doing just that. There is some very fancy footwork that can be played by safe way, which is to say that they've very actively, openly spoken about the fact that yes, this is occurring. We don't know why it's occurring, but we are performing an audit to get to the bottom of it. So that is them recognizing the issue and saying that they're going to do something to rectify it. The lawyers that have been spoken to earlier in the start of this um, referenced that being a difficult hurdle to overcome. Now, I agree with you and would assume that there is some sort of timeline associated with that, where that becomes you're obviously negligent, but you're right. And if you are a person that is being personally impacted by this, you should seek legal counsel. You should seek legal. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because I think you're totally right. Um, so the Department of Labor is absolutely a potential point of contact for this, and there are public emails that you can send to get in touch with people there to inquire about this. If you are personally being impacted by this very specific issue, I would highly encourage you to send an email to olms-public at dol.gov. I will put this chat for people that would like this. So this is the Office of Labor Management's public email address at the Department of Labor.gov. And you can send an inquiry like outlining your personal experience involving and regarding this wage theft, and they will let you know if there is recourse or action that they can take, and they will take it. I will say usually the first step that they take is to reach out to the union and find out what is going on, and then based on the response of the union, determine, make a decision from there. I will say one thing that has come out the other side of this that has been, really disheartening and discouraging is to in communication with union leadership throughout this process. They have gone from it's in the lawyer's hands to it's a all affected grievance. I'm meeting up with them next week. I'm going to ask about your case specifically. We're going to get this fixed. All the same kind of rhetoric and delay, gaslighting. Some visibility into a potential solution, but no real concrete details or information that we can latch onto. That has very much been our experience in interacting with the union regarding this, which is why I, am not too hesitant when I say that I can't logically conclude why that would be unless they are trying to prevent some catastrophic financial disaster for Albertsons on the other side of what is many years, guys, many years. Like people are finding the error like starting in 2021. Many years. Like if you talk about $4,000+ in lost wages per employee, that number's not zero. You know what I mean? Adds up very quickly. So all that being said, we don't care when you pay billions and billions of dollars out to shareholders and in buying back your own stock shares. Um, so no empathy from the poor for the stealing by the rich, right? But we got wage theft, we got shop steward training, we got open enrollment. Anybody else got anything going on in their stores or world that they want to talk about or bring up to the group? What are you talking about? You're You're talking about the district managers lead by fear and by taking your time away from you tactics. So, what we've got going on up here in District 12 is if you're not making salary, you have to get on a conference call at 5 o'clock when you're supposed to be going home, and you have to talk about all the things that you're gonna do to not be a bad manager and make the employees suffer through understaffing uh, to achieve some arbitrary salary target that doesn't fucking matter. Sorry for my language. I apologize again. Um, it that we have not had to sit through that. We haven't had to go through that. I think my managers had to be on that call once or so. But as a former manager, that's not a new trick that she's pulled out of her hat. That's a dirty old trick that she's pulled out of her hat. And what that is coming from is increased pressure on her. I guarantee you. Yeah, no, there's a very real time punishment aspect to that, right? Like every hour your salaried manager is kept there, their wages go down. So that's the situation that's going on there. Um, I know your manager and do really like her a lot. So I don't want to say fuck managers. They made their bed. They chose their job. In this situation specifically, because I know that you guys are in that your shop specifically is hyper union friendly because of your management. And so there are ways that you and your coworkers can build power around this and build even stronger solidarity with your team. Um, through empathy and support for the individual that's having to go through that. And I think the return on that actually would be beneficial to you guys. So something to consider there. But this is the same. This is the same kind of oppression that gets it that will it does eventually trickle down, unfortunately, to the worker, and that's really unfortunate. Hour cuts, potential layoffs, like these are all things that we have never had to deal with in our current time at Safeway. I've been there for 15 years, zero layoffs. I do believe layoffs are coming back. So something to keep in mind as we move forward. High stress, solidarity solves. Anything else from anybody for what's going on in your world? Great conversation. We do not have very much left on the agenda, but we will crank it. Next up, we're talking about LM2s. They're an active team in the union that looks into this. It's the grievance coordinator, Trevor Griffin is the point person on the wage theft. If that's what you were asking in the chat, Jenica. Uh, LM2. What is the LM2? That is your financial document. It's the required union financial reporting that comes out every year. It's mandatory reporting. Yeah, Chico Trevor. He's actually not Chico Trevor anymore. He's Grievance Trevor now. We have Anna and Rafiki Chico reps, and Trevor has moved up. I believe that both Rick and John Micheletti have silently retired under the pressure of militant unionism, and Trevor has moved up into Rick's spot. We'll see if on December 11th he leads the meeting. What you see on the screen right now is the union search page at the United States Department of Labor Office of Labor Management Standards website. Another link going in the chat. Save it, bookmark it, learn it, live it, love it. This is how you access your union LM2s. Your union LM2s are the financial documents that show you everything your union spent money on in a year. Once you get to this union search page, under union name by abbreviation, just open it up. This is every union. It's a big list. So if you type UFCW, you're not going to get to it. Up at the top, there is, so it's alphabetical, but just know that it's a little bit funky in that it rolls through the alphabet quickly and then it rolls through the alphabet again. So there's a UFCW that is closer to the top than you would anticipate it being. And once you find it, hold on, let me see if I can. There you go. I did that right. So if you type on union name by abbreviation and start typing UFCW, it should pop up for you. And then you want to go to designation number and put in local 8. So you can look up any union, any union and local. You can look up any UFCW local and you can compare. What does local 8 spend money on? What does local 5 spend money on? Really easy. So once you have your union and your local, just hit submit and it will bring up their, oh shoot, sorry. I had this page open for a very long time because I was searching stuff. So that error page is just because it was sitting for too long. So once you hit UFCW Local 8 and hit submit, it will bring up your most recent submitted documentation. Here we see the 2022 report, 2024 report, 2024 report, different numbers of total union membership. Wes might know a little bit more about these two groups that are smaller than this bigger body. I haven't really dug too much into that or why they're broken apart. Wes, do you know or have any insight into what's going on with that there? Why there's 3 different UFCW Local 8s listed? I guess we can ignore the 2022 report there, but just regarding the 2024, yeah, so he does know why. For those who haven't met Wes yet, he's a super badass union nerd out of Local 5 who's hyper friend. Oh, there are other locals designated as Local 8. Copy. So this is Local 8 Golden State, or they have a 2024 report, and this is from it's like in New Jersey or some shit. I do remember seeing that now actually. But this one right here, guys, this 24,288 member union, that's us. So if you click on the 2024 report, this is your LM2. This is every penny that gets brought in and spent by your union for the year. This is where we get our union member salaries. This is where if you're on the unionfacts.org or whatever and you're looking up the different Jacques Laval's pay and stuff, and that's getting pulled off of this report. So this is the source material. The reason that I started looking into this is because of Solidaritas. But what you find very quickly is that that's like the tip of the iceberg, right? So this is our 2024 report. And if you look at Schedule 11, you'll start to see all of the disbursements that go out. So this is where you see the different salaries. This is also where you can find things like family members, for example, right? Like, why are there so many Lavals getting paid? Or why are there a lot of Burns, like a couple Burns brothers? Like, you can kind of start to piece together where some of these people are coming from. And now that this was a big step that we took as a group, was attaching these salaries to the faces and the people that we see doing the work all the time, like our reps. So the Schedule 11 disbursements to officers is going to be all your president and your secretary treasurer and all your vice presidents, their salaries. So this will be your executive board. And then disbursements to employees is the staff disbursements. So like on next year's LM2, we're going to be able to see Shane's salary because he'll be listed as an employee here. But we've also got Jeff Burns and Alex Burns listed as IT support, market share and business development rep. And then another brother, Mark Burns, director of communication and technology. We got a $180,000, $128,000, and $55,000 going to the Burns clan. Shout out to the Burns clan. You're welcome. The members of UFCW Local 8 grind hard, work hard, and lose a lot for you guys to have the lives you have. I've never heard you say thank you, but I'll accept it in any way you choose to thank us. Our union reps salaries are in here. We don't need to pay too much attention to the salaries right now. We already know they're all overpaid. No sense in zeroing in on that too hard. But when you get down into some of these other, I think it's actually like Schedule 4 and Schedule 5. So Schedule 4 is purchases of investments in fixed assets. Here you'll see Solidaritas Health. I'm going to go ahead and just highlight it right here. $500,000 in cash paid to Solidaritas Health in 2024. When I called and asked the vice president if this was something that the e-board would have had to approve, I was told yes. So our executive board, that big chunk of people up at the top, thought it was a good idea to give Solidaritas Health $500,000 last year. Reminder, this was contract negotiating time. I would have preferred that to go into a strike fund, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But that's not all. We did give this $500,000 in cash to Solidaritas Health. Yes, that is true. But we weren't done. If you go to Schedule 5 investments, you'll see that we also purchased shares of Solidaritas Health. Now, Solidaritas Health is not a publicly traded company, so these aren't public shares that you and I can buy on Robinhood. These are private shares, so private investment. I asked if this investment, this private investment that was made on the behalf of UFCW Local 8, this is our LM2, was an investment that we, the members, would profit off of. I was told by the vice president, John Micheletti, who has since retired, that the benefit was our access to health care. That the benefit was the building. That was the return on our investment. So we purchased 318,000 shares. How much did that cost us in our dues from 2024, the year of our Lord and Savior Jacques Laval? It cost $1.4 million. $1.4 million in shares purchased on top of $500,000 in cash is $1.9 million. It's $46,000 short of $2 million. Okay, that's what we gave to Solidaritas. That always kind of rang as an alarm bell to me, honestly. Like, what the fuck is that? I actually was feeling better yesterday, and then I had been. So I went back through our LM2s. Here's my research document for those who care. But what you can't see, but can obviously see as a written on piece of paper, is every investment that we have made to Solidaritas Health since the year 2017. That's the first time I was able to find it on an LM2. And spoiler alert, it's too much fudging money. From 2017 to 2024, you and your coworkers have contributed $7,843,269 to Solidaritas. Now, Solidaritas is a private company. It has a CEO, chief financial officer, so it stands to make profit. It's not a nonprofit organization. And Jacques Laval is not only a board member, he's also listed as a co-founder. When I asked if Jacques Laval was going to personally profit off of Solidaritas to John Micheletti, he would not answer the question. He told me that Solidaritas is a healthcare facility for the members. I asked the question again, will Jacques Laval profit off of this? And he said, I told you it is a healthcare facility for the members. There's a saying that the rats leave the sinking ship first. Good riddance, Micheletti. Your time has come. There is also another group that shows up a lot on our LM2. It's called Function Consultants. They're based out of Swampscott, Massachusetts. We pay them every year to the tune of $60,000 for a food and drug conference in Las Vegas. Does anybody remember the importance of the Food and Drug Conference in Las Vegas? Okay. Does anybody remember the Solidarity Fund? All right, so the Solidarity Fund is the fund that Jacques Laval personally holds and controls, in which staff members are not forced but highly encouraged to make cash contributions to out of their own personal paychecks. That is correct. But what I have found on our LM2 is that they're not buying their seat. We're buying their seat. I agree. No, you're the words you are speaking are paving the path to power because you're right. This is something that should anger people and should inspire them to become more active. This is why we need a full slate. This is why when we take power back in UFCW Local 8, our executive board will always maintain worker majority. Right now it's 50-50, and Jacques Laval is the deciding vote. So nothing, and every worker on the executive board is a plant by the union, like straight up relatives of retired union staff. So there is no worker in the room where these decisions are being made, which is why no decision is being made that benefits the worker. We have proposed a 2/3 majority executive board, and I would be willing to codify that in bylaws to maintain worker majority. I think 100%. But as we transition towards that, a small body of people who are dedicated to steering the ship in that direction will probably be needed. With that being said, even through that process, the worker should always maintain majority, in my opinion. That money, that $7.8 million that had been spent since 2017 to 2024, that's our strike fund, you guys. That's our first day strike pay. I bet workers would have voted to do that before they would have voted to seed Jacques Laval's startup. Solidaritas is pitched as a collaboration between unions and corporations to provide access to health care for members. Please recognize now and forever that there is no collaboration with corporations. Corporations only have one goal, and that is to reduce their costs, and we are their greatest cost. We do not work with our oppressor. We don't collaborate with the body that refuses to pay us living wages. The idea that during our strike window, Jacques Laval was coming out to us and saying that this company's disrespecting, they're only offering you 25-cent raises. Well, then why the fuck are you working with them on our healthcare, dude? That doesn't seem like a very good idea. Did you guys know our... Yes, 100%. I think you're right. I think you're right. So guess who's getting an email? Roll up in your chat to an email that has been saved, olms-public@dol.gov. We are requesting a full financial audit into the books of UFCW Local 8, which, by the way, I just said that out loud. So, Jacques, clock's ticking, buddy. Can you get your paper shredder out fast enough? Yeah, did you know that the pens that we give out cost us $12,700 a year? But that's paid to... Sorry, go ahead. That's what I was just going to say. So the itemized transaction is the pens, right? We purchased the pens on May 20th. It cost $12,000. But we also have a transaction that's not itemized, so we gave them $40,988. For what? Great question for you to ask at your next general membership meeting on December 11th, Thursday, 8 p.m. in downtown Sacramento on 9th Street. What is that? Great question. We have a vice president. Her name's Lori Thurn. She makes up here around $4,000 or $5,000. I can't remember. It's not much. It's not very much at all. And in fact, if I was her, I'd be like, that's not enough. I don't want to be the recorder for $4,650. Jacques says, don't worry, Lori. I got your back. Let's come down here. Let's come down here and let's call you a community liaison. What's a community liaison? I have no idea. Let me find this transaction. Another really cool just pro tip. If you hit Control F while you're on your LM2, you can search for words. So it's a very long and it's a big giant spreadsheet. So once if you're looking for pens and you search pens, it's going to bring you right to where you need to be. So here's Community Outreach Liaison Lori Thurn, where her $4,600 salary gets put up to another $12,000. For what? For what? Great questions. We should have much better visibility into the money that we're spending. We pay all kinds of lawyers. We pay all kinds of consultants. I have seen some really crazy things. This Function Consultants group from Massachusetts, we pay them a lot. They're on this LM2 4 different times. We pay them tens of thousands of dollars for something called a solidarity event. I don't know about you guys. I've been an active UFCW member for 3 years, a Safeway employee for 15. I have never seen an event. I've never seen an event, period, held by the UFCW. Dude. We don't buy that, dude. California Labor Federation pays for that. It's a good question. Why did we give a $5,000 retainer and then what is this, non-itemized $137,000? This is that same Function Consulting. Like, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this is last year's LM2, guys. Go back a year before. It's all there again. Go back a year before. It's all there again. Great question. Look it up. It's hard to find out. But we should dig. You should spend some time digging into that, because we pay them $15,000 for an executive board meeting. Oh. What? How is the executive board meeting not in the same fucking room that we have our general membership meetings in? especially if whatever you're doing is costing $15,000. You guys, we pay $25 million in dues money, and I think 24.4 of it's being stolen. In my opinion, that's maybe I'm wrong. May, I agree 1,000%. Kevin, do you have your tablet? Your shop steward tablet. Gina, do you have your shop steward tablet? You don't have a shop steward tablet? Kevin, do you have yours? Yeah, yeah, you're in the UFCW 8 clan. 2 years ago, we spent $17,000 at Best Buy purchasing tablets for our shop stewards. Who wants to bet? Who wants to bet that's a smart fridge in Jock's house? A smart fridge and a smart washer dryer combo. Uh, I let dude. Yeah, yeah. Ajir, preach, sister, preach. And let's be real about this. This is only available because it's legally required to be available. We can only see this because the law forces the union to post this. This isn't, hey, look, we're good, look at our books. And our union, sorry, go ahead. Yeah, when they copy and paste the same Thanksgiving word search every year. Well, and how much did you say it's costing us? Look a little bit lower. Look a little lower. There's voice of action is listed 4 times in that column. 43,000 is that's per issue. That is per issue. That is per issue. We get 4 per year. So so yeah, but also let's look at something here because this Blywise Communications from Calabasas, they're an outside consultant. There's something interesting in between the first and second voice of actions listed there. The date is 5/17/24. What is that? How much did that cost? $5,460 to cut a ribbon. I will do it for $3,000. Okay, okay, hold on, guys. We're unionists. We do not race to the bottom. It's going to cost you 15,000 if you want me to cut your ribbon. Yes, they were. Look it up, but I will say that our union does, and in all the investigating that I've done, including into the pens, they do use union manufacturers. So there is that, and I am willing to pay whatever that costs. I just don't. I got some questions, right? I have some questions. There's a lot of things listed as postcards. Are these the cards that we get from Doc, like the little half-page cardboards? Probably. But all of that together, including a very weirdly slid in ribbon cutting ceremony, like that seems out of place in this list of transactions, right? All of that cost us $322,662. That's a lot. There's a lot of money here, guys. There's a lot of money here that can be spent growing our union, building our strike fund, fixing our pension, training our shop stewards. And it's not. It's being used on other shit. So that's the LM2. For many of you, that was your first exposure to it. Does anybody have any feedback? Or good to see you, Kevin. Thanks for coming, bro. Does anybody have any feedback or kind of thoughts on how are you feeling, seeing and looking into this for the first time? Hundred percent. All right. I will tell you, and you're spot on. In our local, every question does not lead to an answer. It leads to 5 more questions. And we will get to the bottom of this. When you go back to your store and you start talking to your coworkers about this, these are radicalizing conversations to have. We already know we're getting robbed by our corporation. People will say our union is corrupt, but very few people have the receipts to attach to that claim. And you and your coworkers and myself, we've been working very hard to try to attach those receipts to what we all feel to be true. The answers are in our LM2s. And I think that we need to continue digging into this as a group, but also for you and your coworkers back in your store, use this as a way to invite people in to At What Cost. This conversation isn't happening anywhere else in this local. I would be well. Hold it. Let's think about this, Jenica. Let's make a plan to dig into the one from the year before next meeting. Don't print it out. Get people into this room. Get people onto the YouTube channel. Let's use this as a way to bring people in to look at this together. We'll put it on the table. We'll talk about it. We'll ask each other questions. The more of us that are doing that at one time, the more we're going to find. Like what you guys just brought up about voice of action, I didn't even see that shit. You and your coworkers are unstoppable in numbers. That's what we need to keep building towards. You aren't going to be the person that delivers the LM2 to your employees and then shows them the light. They have to find it themselves. And it's on us to find the ways to get them here so that when we do find it, we have a place to take action. Does that sound like a plan that next meeting, maybe we pull up the year before and just see if anything jumps out at us? We don't have to go into it as deeply as we just did, but I think it would be kind of cool. And if we can get some new people in the room and show them too, I think it could have some power behind it. Oh, do that. I'm actually gonna fully rescind everything I said. You're 1,000% right. You are 1,000% right. Print it out, highlight it, and then do what I said. Use that as a trigger to bring it back into our. But no, you are, yeah, because this on your break room table it's like the water cooler. Um, and yeah, you are 1,000% right. I agree with what you're saying in the chat too. Wes. This is a propaganda leaflet, right? This is like this is yeah, this is the thing that Mike doesn't want you to have a physical copy of. Bylaws, contract. Awesome. Mhm. Yeah, I think you're onto something. I think you're onto something, and you should absolutely do that. And when you do, please uh, pay very close attention to how people are reacting and responding, and bring that feedback back to us so that we can all use it in our stores and our conversations. I seriously like wish that I could scrub the video and not say the absolute wrong shit, because you're right. Like this needs to exist in the physical world, and it needs to be used as a springboard towards more and more action. Thanks for setting me straight. Thanks for setting me straight. 100%. 100%. I really do mean that. Um, Anything else you guys want to talk about on the LM2 before we move through these last couple bits? Sorry, I've kept you a little long tonight. I apologize, but it's your fault because you've all been talking. Thank you. I'm not supposed to say thank you. Sorry, but you're doing the thing. You're doing the right thing. Uh, LM2, we're closing the door. Moving on with the action of printing out, having in-store conversations, inviting people to look at last year's next meeting. Agreed by the group? Cool. Next up, campaign flyers. We did it. We printed a bunch of them out. I've got 1,000, slightly less than 1,000. But here they are. They are badass. This is like glossy, thick paper. Uh, awesome, great information. We've got to get these into the hands of our union siblings that are ready to make a change in their union leadership. Uh, I want to give a shout out to Lori down in Chico. Had an opportunity to meet with her a couple Saturdays ago. She reached out wanting to support and get together and talk about this some more. And she really helped get the ball rolling on this. So thank you to Lori for what she's been doing. And she has already started having these conversations with her coworkers down in Chico. And it will be meeting with us down in Chico on November 29th. We're going to go down there with some of these flyers, and we're going to do a little campaigning and a little canvassing in the Chico stores in search of slate candidates, supporters, and volunteers for our campaign. If you would like to come, I've got 2 seats available, 1 seat claimed. Layla will be coming with, and Jake will be coming up from Sacramento, and I believe he's got 3 seats available in his car. So if anybody wants to ride with to Chico or would like to drive to Chico, you are all invited and empowered to do so. I'll get details out as soon as we have them, but as of right now, it's going to be on Saturday the 29th, probably somewhere from 8 or 9 a.m. to 1 or 2 p.m. is currently the plan. If anybody wants to adjust, change, expand, whatever, let's have those conversations. And but as it stands right now, that's what we're planning on doing. Uh, all of your participation is crucial in building this on ramp to a successful election campaign next year. The focus of our visit is going to be hearing workers' issues in the Chico area, laying out the day one claims that we have made on this flyer, which I think these day one claims are really powerful. I'm going to cover them real quick because we haven't really covered this flyer for those who haven't really seen it. And gathering the contact information that we need from our Chico sisters and brothers to maintain connection throughout the campaign. So we're going to listen. We're going to make our pitch for our platform on day one, and then make sure that we can stay in contact. Those three things. Real quick with our day one, like these are things that if the at what cost slate gets elected, we can change immediately. The first one is union leaders that show up. Members deserve union leaders who show up all the time, not just election time. We work hard. Our leaders should too, without the cushy $300,000 salaries paid for by our dues. Strong, transparent contracts. We will make contract negotiations open to members and build a strike fund with first day strike pay. We will never leave members in the dark about their own contract. And steward training for every steward in every store. A strong union starts with education. No more business as usual. So those are our three day one changes. Does anybody have any feedback on those three changes? I think they are easy. Not like they're not. If you elect us, we will change your life. They're very tangible. I think all of us have felt union leaders that don't show up, contract negotiations that are not transparent, and shop stewards that aren't being given the tools that they deserve to help their membership succeed in their stores. Anybody have any feedback on those? It's very important that we continue to discuss, including in our side chat groups, that the language that we're going to use to speak on these things. So that's something we'll discuss more between now and the 29th. But as it stands, I think we're good to move to the final agenda item and call it a night. Anybody have anything else on the Chico trip, or any questions, comments, concerns about getting down there and getting started? All right, cool. Oh, cool. I will say that you and Janica planning a different day is also a very extremely powerful thing. If you think about that, so we don't always have to all go together, and in fact, going at different times but singing out of the same songbook is a really, really good way to show our coworkers that we're for real. And again, that it's not, that we all do care, and we are all present, and we are all willing to do what it takes to take this union in the direction that we feel like it needs to go. So that's definitely an option, and we'll continue to explore it. But holiday times are tough. I know. It's why the last 2 months are so important, because the next two are going to be really difficult. Um, cool. All right, this one's going to be tough, but you need to hear it. I wrote it harshly. I'm going to read it harshly. The Starbucks workers' strike continues. What is class struggle unionism, and what is our role in supporting labor across the country? So, we are the working class. All of us are struggling. Our collective solidarity is the only answer to that struggle. Not just in our stores, not just in our unions, not just in our cities. All workers, all around the world. We share the same struggle. And the sooner we can unlock our collective solidarity, the sooner it ends. Starbucks workers are currently on strike. Starbucks workers are currently on strike. You are a union member. Union members stand in solidarity with one another through their collective actions. When you purchase Starbucks while their workers are on strike, you are violating the exact same respect we would ask from them if we were on strike. If you are purchasing Starbucks right now, why are you doing that? Union members stand in solidarity with one another and hold the line against rotten corporations at all times. You have the power to support striking workers with your dollars and your time. Now, you should consider how to utilize both. For example, your dollars can be saved by not spending, and your time can be spent by either joining a picket line, which there are none up here in Reading. Closest striking Starbucks is in Sacramento, or sharing and spreading the word to your friends and family, as well as on social media. If you do not have the discipline to not buy Starbucks while their workers are on strike, you do not have the discipline to stand up against your own company or union leadership to improve your life and working conditions through collective union action. A consumer boycott is a zero risk action. It only requires your discipline and your self-control. It's that simple. It's that direct. Do not be a scab. Hold the line and support striking Starbucks workers. If everybody crosses our picket line and continues to shop at Safeway while we are on strike, our union will be busted, our solidarity will be broken, and our lives and working conditions will get worse. That is what is on the line for these Starbucks workers, and they deserve our solidarity and our respect. And they have mine. And they should have yours. Does anybody have anything that they would like to add? Thoughts, concerns, comments regarding the Starbucks workers strike? Especially for us in Safeways, difficult because it's right in the building. And we can do all kinds of mental gymnastics and say, well, that's a licensed Starbucks. It's not a real Starbucks. It's a real Starbucks. Hold the line. Don't be a scab. There's tons of people buying Starbucks in my store. That's why I'm saying this. I say it to them. Why are you buying Starbucks? They're on strike. It's fucking embarrassing. You would think about what it that's we're union members. We don't do that to each other. And that's the threat will always be from the bosses that they're gonna close the company. They're gonna this our Starbucks employees are paid by Safeway. They're not paid by Starbucks. They are the collective action that we all take together ends this quicker. And your Starbucks kiosk employees can support it by not purchasing Starbucks. Also, they're not on strike. They can't tell customers not to buy Starbucks. They will be disciplined for that because they're hurting the sales of the company that they currently work for, which is Safeway Albertsons. But they can absolutely not purchase it themselves. And it's I know what you're saying. I know what you're feeling too. I totally get it. Um, and we ask a lot from our community when we ask them to not shop in our stores when we're on strike too. But we do without that, the strike actually doesn't matter. If everyone keeps shopping, there's no power to the strike. It doesn't just take worker solidarity, it takes community solidarity too. And, I'm not when we were going on strike, when we were in the midst, like in the fucking deadline hour of being on strike, I got a little too aggressive with my coworkers and, was like, you're dead to me if you cross this line. We're in some iterative unionism where, like, Jenica, to your credit, to recognize and empathize and vocalize this idea that we're working through this together, there's grace in that, and we should have that, and we should continue to push towards that end goal of supporting our striking sisters and brothers at Starbucks. I have a Keurig in my office now. We brew in the back room. There's ways around it. Safeway's a massive corporation. If Starbucks kiosk closes, none of those union members lose their job. They just work in different parts of the store that are currently understaffed. So it's a blessing to everybody. I promise. They're closing Starbucks in Safeways. They're closing. What was that? 100%. And they're closing Starbucks kiosks and Safeways everywhere already. Don't ever. Well, I don't want to say don't ever, but we should not allow the fear of what the company might do to us impact the actions that we know are right. All right, that's all I got for this one. Sorry it went so long, dude. The falling off of the members as we roll is the sign of a too long meeting. I apologize. But we went over a lot of really important stuff, I think, especially in the LM2. Um, does anybody have anything that they would like to add before we end the recording? All right, that's crickets. Our next meeting will be live on YouTube and Discord on December 3rd, 2 Wednesdays from now at 8 p.m. Good goal would be to try to get one or two new members to come to that meeting. I thought I had a new member coming. He did join the Discord, but he didn't make it to the meeting. We'll get you next time, Joshy Poo. All right. To everybody out. Oh, go ahead. Oh, she's about to shit talk Jock. We got to stop this recording, guys. Don't forget, when the mic's not hot and the recording stops, we say things we don't want our bosses to hear. We'll see you at the next meeting. Peace, solidarity. We're out of here.